Man, don't you just love actors like Jack Black? He just oozes with passion and love for the stuff he does. And he continues to shine, especially with his role as Po in the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Ah yes, the Kung Fu Panda franchise. Arguably the second most respected DreamWorks franchise, behind How to Train Your Dragon. I would beg to differ about the impact of How to Train Your Dragon compared to Shrek, but that's a video for another day. The topic of today's video is the newly released Kung Fu Panda 4. Not that I think it's bad, it's passable at the very least. It's got quite a few flaws, sure, but it's not on the levels of bad that others present it as. The first one is an instant classic. I would even say it's one of the best animated movies of all time. I would even put it up there with the likes of Ratatouille and Spider-Verse in terms of quality American animation. The second one, I think it's a bit of a downgrade, but when I say a bit, I mean a bit. If the first one is a 10 out of 10, the second one is a 9.7. I don't know how they managed to make such a mature story about parenthood and discovering who you are. It's also an amazing movie. If I have to say something bad about it, it would have to be that it has a bit of a pacing issue, but it's nothing horrible. And now, we get to the third one. This one was considered the black sheep of the original three. Call it The Godfather Part 3 compared to 1 and 2. Personally, I don't think it's that bad. I wouldn't even call it bad. It's tonally consistent with the others, albeit a bit more lighthearted than the second one. But I wouldn't call it childish. Overall, here we have a wonderful, little, heartwarming trilogy filled with positive messages and an overall great story of realizing your true potential. And now we get to the fourth one. I didn't go into it with any type of expectations whatsoever. I didn't even watch the trailers. There were many. But the big question should be asked. Did we need this? Is this another Toy Story 4? Nah. For one, Toy Story 4 is the definition of unnecessary. Truly a needless continuation of a story that had concluded perfectly. With Kung Fu Panda, there was a bit more to explore in terms of Po's adventures. Even though in the third one, he achieved everything, we didn't get to see him use it in any meaningful way, except to defeat the baddie. Here, it's the main focus of the villain's motivation, albeit a bit rushed. I gotta ask, did Universal have a mandate over DreamWorks for the movie to be not more than 100 minutes? Because my main problem with it is that almost everything in it feels very underdeveloped. Especially the villain. She didn't have the slightest bit of strong motivation whatsoever. Compared to the previous villains in the franchise, she feels like an afterthought. The new character Jen, that takes the place of the Furious 5 in this, is okay I guess. She's likable enough. I have no idea how she sounds in the English dub. And to tell you the truth, I wish for it to stay that way. I'm not the biggest fan of Awkwafina, especially of her singing. But in the Beggar dub, she sounded nice. Back to the plot. Tai Lung is back, along with the other two villains and Kung Fu Masters. However, they don't get much in terms of personality. Something clearly went wrong in the story writing process here, because no one else except for Tai Lung, Po, and Zhen, and the two dads get any sort of development whatsoever. The Furious 5 were obviously absent due to the dump truck of money that was going to go into their voice actors, which brings me to my next point. It's obvious that the budget wasn't all that much, which is good compared to Disney. Hey Disney, how is that Wish box office going? My biggest disappointment is that this doesn't even feel like a story that needed to be told on the big screen. It feels like something that could have been crammed into the TV show a few years back. I don't know, man, when I hear that the studios are working on a fourth or hell even fifth entry into a beloved franchise, I usually don't get my hopes up all that high. That's why to some extent I'm against the idea of Spider-Man 4 with Tobey. No Way Home was such a beautiful send-off to its character, and it will be a massive overkill, and the special feeling of seeing these characters on the big screen gets lost fairly quickly. Now why is the video title like this? Because to tell you the truth, I'm not sure if this movie will be watched by general audiences all that much. The people at DreamWorks marketing division really need to start pushing their movies more aggressively, or else they're going to have another Kraken situation on their hands. Puss in Boots was successful due to the word of mouth surrounding the quality of the movie. However, I don't see this happening with this one anytime soon. So yeah, go check it out if you want, but don't feel obligated to do so. I have to say the best part of the movie was at the end with Jack Black's cover of the Britney Spears song. I love that part, and overall, I love Jack Black. He seems like such a cool guy. Anyway, Thank you for watching. Subscribe in order for you to decide what you watch and not YouTube. And keep on keeping.